Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. And a very special thank you to Carol Boscat for hosting this amazing event all month in August, Inspire Summit, to help us all actually to improve and develop our personal and professional journey together. So I've really thoroughly enjoyed all the talks so far that I've listened to. I've still got a few to catch up with, and I hope you'll catch up with any that you've missed so far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now share my screen so that we can make a start. Let's hope I can do this. I'm not the most technical person in the world. Let's just make a start here. Share screen. Brilliant. I think I'm there now. So, right, we're going to make a start. So I'm Sadhna Chaman of Rebalancing Life with Sadhna, and my presentation with you today is all about how addressing the root cause of your chronic illness can support your career, business and relationships flourish. So now you might be here because you're a leader, okay? You're a business person employing part-time and full-time staff, or you're an employee working as part of the team. Welcome, everyone. So this is for you if you are open to seeing chronic illness from a holistic viewpoint. This is not for you if you believe that the possibility of supporting your or your team members' chronic health issues is simply not achievable. So what we'll cover today, the background, we'll cover that first very briefly, some facts and figures to bring everything into context. And I will be just talking about the mind-body connection and give you a definition on that, and how chronic illness presents challenges to us in every area of our life, whether it's, you know, our health, our relationships, our career, our business, our emotional being, health and well-being, in every area of our life, and how that creates so much stress mentally, emotionally, physically, on us, on our loved ones, in every aspect of our life once again. And of course, with stress comes toxicity. So we'll be looking at the various ways that we succumb to toxicity in our mental and emotional state, as well as our physical state and our physical environment. And then I'm going to just share with you some of the things that people say to me when they first approach me. So, you know, real comments, and, you know, we will have a quick look at that. And then the ethos behind rebalancing life and the importance of getting back to source. And then I'll share with you a little bit about rebalancing life and how rebalancing life helps individuals. And also we will look at how addressing your chronic illness at the root cause can positively impact your career, your business and your relationship success. And then we'll round off for the day, and I'll just briefly talk about how you can work with me further. I'm afraid I can't see any of your questions, but please put them on the thread and I will certainly come back to them at the end. So just some facts and figures to bring everything into context. Now, most EU countries have returned to employment to pre-pandemic levels in the 38 OECD countries, or they're very well on their way right now in 2022. But here in the UK, unfortunately, numbers of non-working or seeking work are continuing to rise almost every quarter since 2019, and certainly they have been rising in the first quarter of 2022. And the main driver behind this issue here in the UK is chronic illness. And this is very recent information that I've found on the Financial Times, in the Financial Times last month. Now that equates to 332,000 people currently on the waiting list for more than 1 year for hospital treatment in Britain. And 309,000 people are now missing from the labour force due to long-term sickness. And this was reported in the Chartered Institute by the Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development. Now, what is the mind-body connection? The mind-body connection is the link between a person's thoughts, attitudes, behaviours, and their physical health. And what's chronic illness? Chronic illness is defined as a disease or a condition that usually lasts for 3 months or longer and may well become worse over time. Now, how does chronic illness affect our career, business, and relationships? Well, the effect that chronic illness has, it's spread over every aspect of our life. So these are the kind of issues that people with chronic illness face: fear of being judged or seen as incompetent at work, incompetent at home, fear of speaking up, a lack of confidence and a lack of self-esteem, resentment over not progressing to their truest potential, not being valued, not seen as an equal to other peers, not being understood. If you haven't experienced what that person's experiencing, and you're not understanding what they're saying, then that is very, very frustrating for the individual. And fear of being misunderstood, if they were to speak their truth and tell you exactly what they're feeling. And remember, a lot of chronic illnesses are invisible. Not everything is visible to the eye. So guilty of pressure imposed on loved ones at home and also on other team members at work, and the pressure that is being imposed on the department as a whole through your inability to be able to perform to your maximum potential. Also, a lack of social life. Quite often people will say that they can't plan ahead because they don't know how they're going to be feeling on the day. So they can't have a healthy, balanced social life either. Unable to meet customer expectations. So you've got deadlines, but you're having a bad day. You can't get out of bed. You haven't slept all night because you've been in so much pain or so much distress that you're finding it a struggle to meet your deadlines, whether that's in your business, whether it's at work, or even with your commitments at home with your family. Unable to plan life ahead, I've mentioned that before as well, and that can include anything from taking time off to go on holiday or having a break, or planning a project or a deadline, and so forth. And lack of flexibility in working arrangements. If you're not speaking out, you're not getting the help you need. If you are speaking out, but you have a manager that doesn't understand you, that is not willing to make arrangements for you so that you can, work flexibly, whether that's having the right physical environment at work or whether it's having the day to work from home. If you haven't got that flexibility, it's going to lead to more problems and more issues for you. So what does long-term stress lead to? Long-term stress leads to a weakened immune system, a weakened immune response, which leads to so many health issues in itself. A weakened digestive system, an overactive digestive system or an underactive digestive system. IBS is an example, constipation is an example. Long-term stress leads to slow recovery and healing. The body's just not got the vitality. The immune system is not strong, and it just takes longer to recover from a cold, a flu, a bout of illness, a virus, whatever it may be, surgery. It just takes longer to heal. And of course, negative thinking patterns. limiting beliefs, emotional trauma, past history, past thoughts and experiences, constantly going through your mind, not able to let go, not being able to see what the future holds, a grim future in sight. And the onset, of course, of chronic illness. So long-term stress leads to chronic illness. And underneath all this, underneath all these issues that I've raised here, is toxicity. Okay, so let's look at toxicity now. And what is toxicity? Toxicity comes in various forms. Okay, we've got the structural, the chemical, the emotional, the environmental, and the biological toxicity. And these all form layers, toxic layers within the body. Okay, from the moment we are born, we are subjected, if not in vitro, actually, depending on what the mother is going through, what the health of the parents were before conception, yeah, the medication and drugs that they might have been taking that may have impacted their health, which then is going to affect the growing baby in vitro, yeah, which is going to carry on after birth too, depending on what sort of delivery that took place also. So there is a very complex network, a web going on here. But let's just have a look here at structural geopathic stress. So this is the physical environment that we're in. Geopathic stress, tunnels, sewers, geological faults, pipes, utility lines, all sorts. Then we've got the chemical toxicity from food, from household products, from toiletries. Remember, everything you are applying on your skin is being absorbed into your system. It's going straight into your bloodstream, straight into your liver, all around the body. It becomes a systemic form of toxicity, which is why so many of us are now turning towards organic makeup, organic cleaning products, organic skincare, shampoos, all sorts. And then we've got emotional toxicity, thoughts, beliefs, anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt, shame, trauma, abuse. The list just goes on. The repetitive patterns, the thinking that we cannot let go of, it all falls in the category of emotional toxicity. And then we have the environmental, plastics, radiation, heavy metals, medication side effects. These are just some of the examples. And then, of course, there's biological, viral, fungal, bacterial. So I hope that gives you a little bit of an overview of what we could be holding on to in the body, emotionally, physically, and that's affecting us spiritually. And it's affecting us with our health, our career, the way we're working, our relationships, every part of our life. So this is some of the things that people quite often say to me when they first contact me. I just want to find peace, but my relationship with my partner isn't great, and I don't think it can happen. My migraines are getting worse and I feel so stuck. I want to get another job, but no one will take me on with my sickness record. Or I'm sick of feeling tired. I'm sick, but there's no one that quite understands me. My boss is a tyrant and I can't see a way out of this job. I've lost my spark. There is so much I want to do with my life. I want my old self back. I want my energy back. And I want my voice back. If only I could get my health on track. I feel like I'm not doing my best at work and neither at home. It's getting me down and I just don't know where to start. I don't understand why those with less experience than me are moving up the career ladder. I just don't think I'm good enough. So, you know, it just gives you an idea, and you can see how a physical ailment is affecting them emotionally, it's affecting them at work, it's affecting them at home, it's affecting them in so many different ways. But the thing is, if you are experiencing that, or if your team members are experiencing that, you're not alone, because chronic illness is so vast now. So many of us are feeling that. I certainly had a chronic illness. I was diagnosed with an underactive thyroid after my second daughter was born. And that's a culmination of emotional things, not sleeping enough, looking after my children, studying, and it impacted my health in numerous ways. It impacted me at work, it impacted me at home, it impacted me achieving my goals and dreams. I wanted to be a homeopath. I was studying to be a homeopath. I was still working part-time, but how can I become a homeopath when I need to sort my own health out first? I needed to fill my own cup before I could fill anyone else's. And, you know, I went through a huge, long journey of self-care, which I thought I was doing already, loving every aspect of my life, loving bringing up my children part-time, loving working part-time, loving studying part-time, running a home, totally looking after my parents too. I loved every aspect of my life. I was cooking healthy meals, I was exercising, I would go to the gym. I thought I was doing everything right, but my body was telling me otherwise. And I had to go through a journey, a massive journey of healing on so many different layers myself, right up until quite recently, in fact. And that is exactly what I now share with my clients. So let's just go back to our roots, because that's where it all begins. There is more help available to support chronic illness, and there's certainly a lot more help available in the 21st century, when we are so able to live longer. You know, we're blessed with medication that helps us to live longer, but we don't just want to live longer. People are living longer, but we want to live longer in the 21st century with a quality of life. And that's why going down the natural route to support everything else that you're taking already will help you to bring your life back to balance, emotionally, physically, in every area of your life. So mind, body, and energy, that is the ethos behind Rebalancing Life. We're here to support you on every level. And we do that through releasing what you no longer need in your life, realigning and reconnecting with everything that you can and that is open and available to you, so that you can reclaim your health and life. So these are three broad areas: release. And we do this in so many different ways. Release everything from your mind that you no longer need. Release everything from your body, all the layers of toxicity that I was talking about. Releasing those homeopathically, with herbs, with essential oils, with all the work that we can do with the mind and the body, the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, and really tuning into your powerful inner wisdom that you already have, that you were born with, that's your birthright. And really working with your spiritual energy, really bringing together the energies that are already within you, the masculine and the feminine energy patterns that are already within you, that you already have. And it's about bringing it all together. So let's go back to source. What is homeopathy? Homeopathy is a system of medicine that was invented back in more than 200 years ago by a German doctor, Samuel Hahnemann. And it's based on the principle of like cures like. And for those of you that have not ever seen what homeopathy looks like, it's normally, it's in liquid form, but it's also in pilule form like this. Okay, so this is a pilule of homeopathic medicine for you to look at. And then we have flower essences. Now the ones that I tend to use are Australian bush flower essences, and I create combinations with flower essences that are absolutely amazing for the emotional state of being. So the homeopathy works on the emotional and the physical level, spiritual level. And it's amazing at releasing the layers of toxicity that we're holding on to and detoxing and cleansing the liver, the organs of elimination, the liver, the kidneys, the spleen. That's where the elimination comes from, cleansing the blood with homeopathic medicine that I was talking about before. So the homeopathy. And then it's about addressing the emotional side of the person too. So what's your timeline looking like? What was the birth looking? What was your birth like? If you know, that is, or if it's for your child. What have you been through in your life emotionally, from childhood right through to now? What the experiences that you've had? What are the physical symptoms that you're experiencing? And, you know, we look at the totality of the person. It's a person-centered approach. In fact, everything offered at Rebalancing Life is a person-centered approach. And that's what I mean by going back to your roots, going back to who you are emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And then with the homeopathy, we have all these books with all these remedies inside. You know, look at mental and emotional, and there's hundreds and thousands of remedies that can be prescribed, but we would go for the one that is most suitable for you, taking into account your history, your health, because you are unique. It's not about going to the doctors and prescribing the latest 5 remedies for blood pressure or for diabetes. Homeopathy doesn't work like that. We are addressing the person on the mental, emotional, physical symptoms with the symptoms that they are presenting today. And we will gradually release and let go of everything on the emotional and physical side that they no longer need, in order to bring them back to their core. It's a bit like peeling an onion, peeling off the layers. Layer by layer, you get to the core of the onion. So flower essences, I've mentioned, excellent for emotional, addressing emotional states. Herbs, now herbs I use are absolutely amazing. They work on the emotional and the physical level. So the homeopathy is the diluted version of the herbs in many instances, and you know, other natural substances, but herbs are the material dose. So you could have arnica flower. Arnica flower, I can give that in a diluted dose, but I can also give it as a herb for pain, for trauma. So then we have, and these herbs that I use are homeobotanical herbs, and they are made the homeopathic way, which is why they resonate so much with me. I'm not a herbalist by profession, but these herbs are prescribed with almost every prescription, because herbs and homeopathy work really well together. And then, of course, we've got the essential oils. Now, you will have heard of lavender. You will have heard of peppermint. You would have heard of a lemon oil or a turmeric or essential oil. Now, you might have a diffuser in your home, and you may be diffusing a beautiful aromatic oil. But essential oils can be used aromatically, they can be used topically, and they can be ingested too. Okay, but it's about knowing what's right for you and what's right for the body, and what you need right now and how it should be taken, because not every oil can be ingested. And the beauty of essential oils is it's going back to the core of the plant and the flower. So again, we're going back to source, we're going back to roots, we're going back to the roots of the flower. We're not just looking at the petals of the flower, we're going back to the roots, where all the vitality is, where all the grounding is, where the foundation is. And it's resonating with your grounding, your foundation. And the beauty of essential oils, which is why I love them so much, is that you can take an essential oil for a pain, yeah, or soothing, but that essential oil will have healing properties, not only on a physical level, but on a high vibrational emotional level too. So as with all these therapies that we're talking about here, you are addressing the person's symptoms on the mental, emotional, and physical level at the right vibration for you at the particular moment in time. And then we've got the spiritual energy, which is what I absolutely love. And that is the basis of Reinvent Your Life Online and Accelerate Your Life in one day. And that is working with the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind is where the more powerful part of our mind. Okay, it's like 80% of the functioning of our mind. The conscious mind is what we're doing here consciously. Your to-do list, yeah, well, what you've got to do tomorrow, what you did yesterday. That is your conscious mind working, quite often in overdrive. The subconscious mind is the more powerful part of your mind. And you may not remember things that you have experienced in your life, but your subconscious mind will remember everything. And when we work with the subconscious mind, we're working with the first 7 years of life, because that is where you experience your first negative emotions, whether it's your anger, your sadness, your fear, your hurt, your guilt, your shame. Now you're probably sitting there thinking, well, how the hell am I meant to remember that? You don't, you can't, you possibly can't. On the conscious level, that is, your subconscious mind remembers everything. So we are working with your spiritual, mental, emotional energy, with your subconscious mind, where you create all the thoughts, the feelings, the beliefs, the limiting beliefs, where you're holding on to trauma, where you're holding on to stored negative emotions that you no longer need in your life. Now, just think for a moment, if you've got a pearl necklace, if that pearl necklace breaks, all the birds, all the beads will fall off, won't they? One after the other. So when we work with the first 7 years of life, where you are storing the first pearl of anger, the first pearl of sadness, the first pearl of hurt, guilt, shame, fear, when you release that first pearl, all the pearls of anger from the whole of your life start to fall off. This is where I start to get emotional, because this is just such a powerful, life transforming process. The first pearl of fear will release all the fear from your life. The first pearl of sadness will release all the sadness from your life. The first pearl of hurt will release all the hurt, and so forth. Now, that's not to say that you will never feel hurt, anger, fear, sadness, shame ever again. Of course you will, because you're human and these are natural emotions. But what we're doing here is we are releasing. Think of yourself as a vessel, accruing, collecting all these emotions from the time you were born, and you're just holding on to all these emotions from the whole of your life. Probably from previous generations too. Who isn't holding on to generational traumas and beliefs and hurts? You know, I'm sure we all are. And past lives, if you believe in past lives too. So what we are doing here is we are emptying this vessel. We are bringing it right back to zero, so that the next time you feel hurt, the next time you feel anger, the next time you feel sadness or hurt or pain, or the next time you feel guilt or shame, you are working from an empty vessel. So it's no longer festering inside you. It's no longer there. You're not kicking off irrationally. You're able to compose yourself and deal with life situations, whether it's at work, whether it's at home, whether it's in your career, in your business, in your relationships. You know, you're able to deal with it with a more rational, logical mind. And of course, the divine feminine and masculine energy patterns within us that we are all holding on to. That's your inner voice. Yeah, it's your logical against your creative side. It's your logical do action mode against your intuitive, quiet, powerful side. That's the divine masculine and the feminine. And what we do there is bring them back into union. Yeah, we bring them back into harmony, a bit like a dance. The masculine and the feminine working together in harmony, understanding each other, working together in flow. Now, anger. Let's just look at the emotions for a moment. How does anger affect us on a physical level? Cardiovascular diseases, stress, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, where cortisol is produced in excess, where the sympathetic nervous system goes into overdrive. This is the excess release of stress hormones. So anger can contribute to the adoption of addictive habits, unhealthy lifestyles such as smoking, high alcohol consumption, unhealthy eating, diabetes, and a host of chronic illnesses. And for fear too, it's where we are holding on to so much fear at the cellular level that we almost like disassociate from ourselves. We are unable to have loving feelings, not only towards ourselves, but towards others too. We're just not in tune with ourselves because the fear is the overriding factor here. So, you know, anxiety, mood swings, obsessive compulsive thoughts, you know, the fear is just such a massive thing. And now let's just look at sadness. I'm just focusing on 3 of the emotions just to give you an idea, because I am very conscious of our time here today. So sadness, physical symptoms of sadness are common, and depression is massive. 32.5 million people are suffering from depression, anxiety, musculoskeletal problems in the UK currently. And that's from the Financial Times last month. Scary statistic, I'm sure you'll agree. And what does depression lead to? Joint pain, limb pain, back pain, gastrointestinal problems, fatigue, psychosomatic changes, appetite changes. The list is endless. And the same goes for guilt, hurt, shame, etc. So here are the main kind of conditions that rebalancing life would tend to see in practice. Autism is a big one. Digestive conditions, stress, female hormonal conditions, whether that's from puberty right through to menopause and beyond. So puberty, menstrual problems, pain, polycystic ovaries, endometriosis, irregular periods, absence of periods, continuous periods, you know, and of course at the other end of the spectrum we've got menopause, perimenopause, postmenopausal symptoms. The list is endless. Immune health, well, that speaks for itself too. You know, when everything else is impaired, the immune health is impaired, your ability to fight off dis-ease health conditions is impaired. Respiratory conditions, you know, anything to do with asthma, respiratory conditions, breathing, bronchiolitis, etc., anxiety and depression, which we've talked about already. So this is just to give you a flavour of everything that rebalancing life offers. Subconscious mind work, homeopathy, union of the divine masculine and feminine, flower essences, botanical, herbs, essential oils, chakra balancing, reflexology. Now, when you start to address chronic illness at the root cause, this is the positive impact that clients start to face. Greater peace and acceptance of themselves and others, greater focus and a sense of direction and future goals, a sense of purpose in their life, within themselves, for their families, for their loved ones, in their career, in their business. They know where, what their goal is. They know where they're heading. Connection with my true essence. I get told this and I absolutely love it. When you're in touch with your inner self, your inner voice, what you are here to bring in this world, you are able to positively impact every area of your life. A greater sense of self-belief and self-confidence. Now that is so important at work. If you can speak your truth, if you can honor yourself at work and say what you mean and what you want to say, you can create bigger impact. You can be heard. You can be understood. Your ill health will be understood. Your illness will be understood. And when you get the response that you're looking for, you will be able to positively give in your career and in your business and create the impact that you so want to make, that you have the potential to make. And what does all this lead to? This all leads to a greater sense of fulfillment and joy, which is what we're here for, right? That's what our birthright is. That's why we've been brought into existence. By your very existence, you have every right to feel joy and fulfillment. So if there's anything that's getting in the way of your joy, your peace, your fulfillment, it's time to address that now. Because life as we know it, we've seen how many people we've lost during the pandemic way too early. This life that we have right now is a gift. It's a gift from God if you believe in God. And so we have to make the most of each and every day. So if you'd like to connect with me further, I'm on many social media platforms. I'm here on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. I have a group, a page. I'm on Instagram and Twitter. And I would love for you to book in with a 30-minute free call with me via Calendly, which is on my website. My website address is rebouncing.life.com. And I would love to give you a special offer. And my special offer for you for attending today or for taking the time to listen to me on replay is I'd love for you to download my 58 affirmations for weight loss, which I've put up especially for you all. And that is if you're looking for weight loss. But even if you're not looking for weight loss, those affirmations are so powerful. You can listen to them and repeat them within 5 minutes while you're getting dressed, brushing your teeth, on your headphones, on your way to work. You know, they are so empowering, and I hope you find them empowering. And then I've got, you can download my free meditations. So many people say to me they don't know how to meditate. They can't get the chatter out of their mind. They've got the to-do list there. They just can't find peace. They can't find 5 minutes. So I've got 2 free meditations there, one to get you started and one to get you moving on with meditation. And then, of course, I have my Reinvent Your Life online program, and that is available on my website. And for you, for attending today, I'd like to offer you 10% off. And that's £149 off the most phenomenal, life-transforming, powerful program I can offer you. And that offer is available to you until the end of this month. Thank you so much for watching today. I'll go back and look at your comments, and if you've got any questions, please do post them on the thread, and I will do my best to answer them, your questions. Thank you so much. Take care for now.